Hello, how are you? Welcome. Thanks for joining me. Y'all, I just got my hair caught on my light thing as I was walking by it, so it almost pulled my whole situation down over here. Hopefully I didn't move my camera. Welcome to the party. It's a little bit of a disaster around here today. I have been doing the thing though. Okay, I got up this morning and I gotta fix my hair. It's too loose. I got up this morning and took Dozer to the groomer. While he was at the groomer, I organized my life. I got cutout orders out the door and into the box outside. I got new cutouts cut. I got projects planned for the next couple of weeks, especially while I'm out of town next week. I wanted to take some small stuff with me so that I don't have overwhelming projects to try and do in my hotel room. I think I'm all set. So the keyword is the word winter. It's all set up. Hopefully you see me. Let me know whenever you hop on. Hey Terry, how are you? All right. Looks like my camera didn't get moved a lot. Y'all, I about took down everything as I was walking my way over here. Okay, so this is the new one of the new cutouts I made today. This is the transfer we're going to use. Oh, hello winter snowman. And I have some paste over here. I have a couple different things going on. I have some ocean mist that's pretty dry. I added a bunch of water to it, so I'm hoping that I can make use of this. Ugh, it's not great. It's a situation for sure. Just lots of water is needed here. I should have probably watered it down in the jar first, but didn't do that, and now I'm learning my lesson. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just start with my cutouts. We will use this ocean mist on the Oh Hello Winter words, and then also on the backer. So the thing that I want to do here is I want to make a gradient. Hi Joanne. So I have, as you can see, I also have Couture Teal that I pulled out. Let me see if I can't. Oh my gosh, this is so bad. It is so bad. Oh my gosh. Okay, I have a stir stick here that I need to help myself with it. My goodness. I need like a whole vat of water over here to help me come up with a solution here. Okay, so I don't want to go too heavy here because I do have scored snowflakes, so I'm trying my best. Let's see if I can't do better with a makeup sponge. I'm gonna just get that wet, and I pulled a little bit of that paste off to the side and just added a bunch of water to it, so I think that might work better, and it is. So if you have really dry paste, first of all, mix it up in the jar with water. Get the consistency right first before you start trying to pull it out and paint with it. And then you can pull it out and paint with it. I want you to learn from my mistakes, okay? If nothing else, I would like to show you what I do wrong so that you don't have to go through the same trials and tribulations. All right. And as always, we don't want to do too thick of a layer of paint of any kind and clog up the score lines. Okay, a little at a time works fine. You can do multiple layers and just work it on there. Okay. And I'm doing like, I don't know, 2/3 of this round with this ocean mist paste, and then I'm just adding a little bit of water to that. Now I'm kind of got a line going here at the bottom of the, or at the 2/3 mark, where we're going to come up from the bottom with teal, and then we'll blend it into a little bit of a gradient. I think it'll look good. Hey Tammy, how are ya? Keyword is the word winter. You can get this cut out separately on my Etsy, and then I also have a link to get the supplies from my chalk shop too. And if you didn't know, right now we've got, for Perks members and designers, we have BOGO transfers, C, D, and E transfers right now. So take advantage of that. It's only through the 8th, which today's the 6th, I think. So like Monday. So hook yourself up with BOGO. Especially, and I think there are also some surfaces. I'm pretty sure I saw some surfaces earlier that are on that list also. So, I mean, if there are transfers you've been looking at or surfaces that you've been wanting, you can get BOGO. And especially for the big ones, y'all, they cost so much to ship, and they can get really expensive really fast. So, buying multiples. So, it's a good deal. All right. I think I'm okay with my top part. Okay? Maybe not. I see a little bit here that could be better. All right. I did go a little heavy over on this side. It's okay. All right, so now I'm going to pull up from the bottom. I'm going to use the same exact sponge. I have my teal paste over here. I'm going to just start at the bottom with the same exact concept, okay? And I might even use teal and then come in and mix in some more ocean mist on top of it. We'll see how it looks, because it might be too harsh. But I'm just like, for now, just going right to that line, and then I'll blend it here in just a second. All right. Hey, Kathy. Welcome. Hey, Tracy. How are you, girls? I hope you're having a nice Saturday. I am. It's been a very productive day. And then Chris and I went on a little lunch date earlier. He had to work today, so he got home at probably, I don't know, 1:30. He got himself cleaned up, and then I suggested, hey, I haven't eaten. Let's go eat. And so we went to Gringo's, which was a Mexican restaurant, and just had a nice little lunch. All right, now I'm going to work on blending up here. So I'm going to add a little bit more water to my sponge and kind of see if I can do a little bit of an ombre into that ocean mist. Now I'm going to grab a little bit of ocean mist and just try and help myself blend that a little bit. With the teal. Okay, I don't want it to be a harsh line. In fact, my teal is kind of climbing up a little bit more, which is okay. And then I'm going to do one more layer with the teal down here just to make sure that I get good coverage. And then I think I'm going to come in with just a little bit of ocean mist just to bring that color down here a little. Okay, so I'm just grabbing some of that ocean mist off of this. And I'm just tapping it lightly. I didn't get a lot. Okay, I don't want it to be covering up the teal, but I just want to kind of mute it just a little bit so it's not quite so harshly teal. I think that's pretty good. Okay, it's got a good gradient going. I do need another layer of ocean mist up here at the top. I'm seeing as it's dried now that I do have some not quite so even spots. So I grabbed a new makeup sponge. I just cut off the used part of it, and I'm gonna get me some ocean mist on there and get a final layer up here, and I think that'll be good. So I do like to try and do my layering whenever each layer is dry, okay? It helps a lot to get better coverage, especially whenever you're using paste, but with paint too on these cutouts. Make sure that's dry, and then you can come back in and put in another layer. All right, that's not bad. Oh. So I'm gonna actually mix a little bit of teal with my ocean mist so that I can get kind of an in-between color here. And just see if I can't blend that a little bit better. All right, so that's what I have so far. I don't hate it, so that's a good start. I mean, I like it whenever I don't hate things, I guess. It helps. Hey Brooke, how are you? Hi Patsy, hey Amy. Nice, good for you Tracy, I'm proud of you. I added a bunch of cutouts to my Etsy today to try and make money for that BOGO. So hopefully I can grab some things too. Alright. And then of course we have the snowman, so I'm gonna set that over there for a minute. And then I have some white paste here that I pulled out also, and another new makeup sponge. So I'm gonna just real quick give him a coat or two. Now the snowman is a little deceiving. Okay, so when I was first thinking about this project, I was thinking that I would use white paste on the transfer, but it's kind of etched. Oops, good Lord. Okay, it's kind of an etched design, so we'll see. I am going to use color, like I'm going to use brown and a little bit of orange for his, like brown for his little twig arms and orange for his nose and so on, right? But I don't know if I'm gonna have to blend it or what. I don't know. We're gonna see, okay, how it ends up looking. I maybe it'll be okay. I don't know. I might be just overreacting, as I tend to do. If you ask Chris, that's basically what I spend my life doing, is overreacting. But he thinks he's funny. Alright. I'm going to do another layer and see if I can't get this to be a little bit better coverage and even out some. Add some more water to my... And then before I do anything, well, I'll probably go ahead and use the transfer on my cutouts and stuff like that, but I do want to add the backer onto my round first, okay? So that I know where my placement needs to be. It'll make it easier whenever I go to place my stuff on the round, okay? Especially because there's not going to be an easy way to see it whenever you flip it over and all that stuff. And I prefer to flip it and do that first, but I never do because I always forget every time. And so I'm not going to forget this time. So let me grab that and we'll do the backer really quick, just the hanger on it. And these words are all dry, so we'll go ahead and pull those off too and get rid of that. So I do need to make sure that I know what's going on here, so kind of keep it like that, and that's my center. Now I went to Hobby Lobby yesterday. I know I told y'all this last night, but I'm really excited because I got some new string and I want to use it. So I also got that giant ball of the big jute that I love so much, but I think this one is more appropriate for this design. So I'm going to triple this up, or I guess it'll be quadrupled, just so it's thicker. And I also have my hot glue gun ready. I'm going to trim that because that end is frayed from being stuck on here. Hi, Lori. Hi, Lindsay. I almost called you Lori. Sorry. All right. Okay, so here's how we work. I just did that and rub that together so that those would stick together, okay? Now, here's our backer, and this is what we'll do. We'll take this piece first, and we will put that on there, just like that. Now, I want to make sure I'm in the center still, and I should have done this backer before I painted anything, but look, I live and learn, and sometimes I don't even learn, okay? I just live around here. Now, hopefully this is going to fit through this hole. Okay, good. Now, do the same thing with the other end. I am going to trim it just a little so that it's all the same length. Make it a little easier to stick through there. Get that glued together the same way. Just a little tiny, I just rubbed a little bit of glue on there so that it'll stick through this hole. That way you don't need a bead. You don't need one of those bead things or anything, bead tools or anything like that. Okay, so I'm going to just tie a simple knot, nothing fancy to it, okay? And I'm going to keep this approximately the length that I want it. Now I'm going to have to shorten it some so that I can get this knot tied. And then let me pull this in to be at the length that I want. So that's about how... I don't like my hangers to be any more than that because then they flop around on the door too much. And my door gets beat up enough with the in and the out. Okay, but now you've got, what is that for? And that should be plenty strong to hold it. Now, I've got my two knots on this side. I'm going to take my glue gun and I'm going to just put some glue in those notches and then glue on the top of that hanger. And I'm going to hold that tight and take those knots and stick them right in the notches and just press that down, right? So that it looks like that. And then you've got a door hanger attached to this and it's perfect. Okay, and then that's in the center. It looks great actually. Okay, so I need to dry my snowman and then we can put our transfer on and do all that stuff and then be done. Put it all together and we're out of here. There's wet paste on the back of this. Well, maybe it's not wet anymore because it's on here now. That's okay. Alright, now here's what I'm thinking. For the words, I was thinking originally that I would paint this the way that I did, right? And then use a contrasting color. I was thinking maybe the teal, but now I'm just thinking to use black for the words, and I think that's what I'm going to do so that it stands out and you can see it well. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Now I'm trying to think whether or not I do want to use surface wax on my snowman. I don't know if I need to on my words. I guess I do probably. I will, just for fun. I don't know that you necessarily need it on the words, but definitely for the snowman because there is a lot of sticky on this transfer that's going to be stuck to that snowman, and you do not want to pull up the white, okay? Because that's his body, and his body's going to be white. Now be careful because like that little dot right there is the only thing holding this all together. Okay, it is very, very fragile. So keep that in mind. Just a little bit of wax. I barely used any on that. I didn't even get more on it or anything. Okay. Fuzz this a couple times. Alright, don't skip this step because you will regret it, especially with a brand new transfer, if you don't have this thing fuzzed really well. Alright. Let's start with the words. It'll make it easier, I think. I don't know, maybe. I don't know. There's that. I am going to try and do all of them at the same time. Hopefully I'm not going to regret that. Make it a pain for myself, you know? Not terrible. This will be easier there. So it's not sticking to my table constantly because that's aggravating. Trying to move it around and it's not cooperating because it's stuck. Okay, there's that. And honestly, you could even probably stick down the snowman too at this point. But I'm going to go ahead and just do the words first and then we'll do our snowman, okay? So we're going to use black. I'm just grabbing a little bit, okay? And I'm going slow and I'll pull up each one as I finish it, okay? So that it doesn't dry in the transfer. That looks good. I'm glad we did black for the words. I was struggling with what color to use. before I started my live, because I had an idea in my head and then I always question it and question myself, like, is that going to be okay? Are you even going to be able to see it? Is my biggest worry all the time, because sometimes you finish stuff and you can't see it. So there's the hello. And then the winter should be fairly simple as well. Now, just know that if you were to have broken that W from the rest of it, it's really not that big of a deal. You could still use it and just glue it on your project, and if you set it next to each other, it'll look like it's glued together still, so, or that it's still connected. So not a huge deal. All right. But I do want you to realize it is super, super fragile. All right, there we go. And then this winter has a lot of distressing on the stencil. I really like that. It looks great with the black. I think that was a good choice. All right, and then same situation here with our snowman. Now we're going to use multiple colors here. Most of it's going to be black, okay, but I did pull out orange. And I have my multi-tool. So this is just orange peel. And you could do this all in one color if you wanted to, but I wanted to do too much, obviously. I'm pretty much 24/7 doing the most. So I'm going to do paste and peel. I put down my paste, I'm going to pick it up, and then I'm going to push it back down where I didn't get it yet, okay? And then I'm going to just go top to bottom, and I think probably my multi-tool is going to be my best bet. The rest of him is going to be black besides his arms. So one of the smaller tools, a multi-tool, a detail tool, a mini squeegee cut in half is going to be your best friend on something like this. On little details and making sure that you don't go over. You don't want to try and use a giant squeegee, or even a mini squeegee is going to be too big probably. To do all this minuscule stuff. Now I'm going to pull this up in just a second. Tempted to just try and hurry and do the brown part really quick. This is espresso. I feel like I can just, it's just a little bit, so see if we can't hurry. I did kind of do the black thick, so maybe that will help me when it comes to not drying so fast. We'll see. Okay. Get that pulled off of there. It looks good. I like it. Just that little bit of color helps. I mean, I could have done it all in black and it would have been fine. I probably, next time I would do the scarf maybe a different color. But it's okay. I'm happy with that. So, I just got paste on my jar lid. Let me clean that up so it doesn't get everywhere all over me. Alright. And now we can put it all together. So remember this, okay? I'm gonna make sure I don't have any paste on me that's wet still, because I'll transfer it. And then I'm going to dry my snowman. I think the words are probably dry, but I want to make sure that my snowman is definitely dry. And then we can put it all together. So the other thing that you can do is get some of that white paste that we use in a little bit of water. Maybe add some speckles here of snow. You could give him some rosy cheeks, which I think I'm going to do both of those things. So here is just a little paintbrush. I'm going to just spray some water right on it and dip it in that white paste that I was using, and then just do our favorite little snow technique. Okay, throw that over there, and then that's the other thing I wanted to do. Y'all, I have too many ideas in my head popping around and I forget all of it. Okay, so I pulled out my white ink pad that I love so much. Literally have been using it almost every project lately. And my favorite blush that I don't use anymore in my makeup room, in my makeup bag. But it's perfect for this. You could go and get any blush from anywhere. Dollar Tree would be fine. Okay, you don't have to use any kind of good stuff. Now there's my little snowman with just a little bit of color on his face. He's been out in the weather and that wind is just whipping, right? I want to make sure this is totally dry before I start messing with it, because I don't want to smudge any of those little white dots. Now, I could have done this first. I probably should have. But do I ever do things in the right order? No, I don't. It's a problem. Because I think my brain works too fast. I may be a little ADD or something, where I have so many thoughts all the time, and it's too fast. Okay, so the idea that I saw was white along the top, okay? A lot of white along the top. And then it was blended in, like we did this the other day on another snow project. Kind of blend it down. I'm gonna go for some more. I think I might need a new white ink pad. It is kind of hard to see it on the ocean mist. If it were a different sky color, I feel like we would have a better chance of seeing it. And you could almost get a little bit of white paint and do the same thing, I think. But that scares me. Oh, look. Here, I just patted some onto my little dauber so that I get more. The other day it worked really good on that hat, but it's probably because it was black. To just kind of smudge it a little bit, but just grabbing some works fine. All right, there we go. So just to give it like, I don't know what's like a snow all through the air feel, you know? I don't know. I have no idea, but that's what the girl had on her design, and I thought it was great. So, you know, I'm a copier. All right. Aren't we all, though? Honestly. Okay, so I'm going to pull this down some and kind of go over that center part where the blending happened to try and help mask if any of that looks like it wasn't blended good. It is, but just to kind of help with that. Now, this is perfect. Oh my gosh, he's so cute. I'm going to use Stick Fast, and of course I put all of my cutouts down before I start gluing. Make sure I have my placement correct. Make sure I have all my pieces. Make sure I don't like put something in the wrong order or whatever, okay? Before I glue it down and then I'm like, oh crud, I misspelled something or whatever. So just double check yourself before you wreck yourself, you know what I'm saying? All right. And this word successfully made it in one piece. Shocking to everyone, I'm sure, with the way that I was wrenching on it a minute ago. This little snowman is just the cutest, you guys. Oh my gosh. If you don't have this transfer yet, I'm not sure what you're waiting on, but you can comment winter to grab not only this cutout, but also the transfer. And if you already have the transfer, just go grab the cutout on my Etsy. Isn't it adorable? It's on my YouTube. I can send you a link, Tracy. Anyways, I love you all. I hope you love this too. I will see you soon. Thank you for joining me. Good night.